Hey, good morning, Bob. Trade Genius here, the 21st of October. I was gone for a couple days celebrating my 30th wedding anniversary. Unbelievable. Who'd have thought I got married at 10, huh? But anyway, seriously, back today, and I'm going to talk to you about something a little counterintuitive. I think everybody's expecting a big crash, and I just want to point out some data here that may suggest that we have a short-term bottom instead. You know, one thing people have to bear in mind is the market you see is just the tip of the iceberg, and everything underneath it is the derivatives that are pushing the market around, because there's just so much debt and leverage in the systems. And somebody put this chart together. I took it and added my lines to it here just to give you perspective. But this is the put call ratio, basically protection and lack thereof, that traders put on to hedge their portfolios. And if you notice here also, these lines are the Bollinger Bands, which are basically kind of like dynamic linear regression lines. But whenever they crash through these Bollinger Bands, you get reversals one way or the other. And typically it's easier to find a bottom than it is to find a top, because the sell-offs typically are pretty intense, and then they'll V bottom out of it most of the time, whereas the top may U or even L for a while before it rolls over. So here's just looking back since 2015, every time, and I marked the lows here because this gray shaded area is the S&P price, and we hit it again this past week. That's that chart. And then Tom McClellan puts out a chart too, looking at liquidity, and the liquidity every time we bottom down in this liquidity area here, we have sustainable bottoms. And then I added his other line here. He added some context to it as to why this happens, and we're not surprised here. The algo is supposed to be market makers. They're not market makers. They're literally in there to steal when the market rises, and they step away when the market is falling, and then they step back in again. And that's where we're at here on this. And so this is suggesting a bottom as well. And then in my chart that I have is that I typically trade 2-hour, 4-hour time frames, sometimes hourly, but I pulled it up to a daily to get me some perspective. This is my money flow indicators, and these are my multiple lookbacks for stochastics. And what has happened here for the first time, and I can only look back so far on this, so I can't really back test it any further, but this is the first time we had a reset across multiple time periods, look back periods on stochastics, and it flashed a buy last week. And so for me, what I'm looking for now is for it to get a confirmation from my blue line here. But if you notice also here, this is going into earnings season, this is going into earnings season, this is going into earnings season, and this is going into earnings season. We've always tended to sell off or consolidate ahead of the earnings seasons, and this may prove to be the same event here. And look, I'm bearish overall in the market, but I'm looking at the next 2 weeks, and it's suggesting that maybe we're going to push back up. Now, you know, we could have had that push up here already, and now we're ready to roll over, but I don't think so. I think they're going to take another shot at this thing, especially if they think that going into next year might be a rough road here with a split Congress and president, or the Democrat House just going absolutely insane with every kind of charge and impeachment that they can think of. And who's going to want to be in the market then? So they may try to push it up ahead of that too. But for me, It's looks like a tradable bottom, and then if you want to add to that, you bring in UVXY, and UVXY made a lower high now, and I think there's an opportunity for that thing to come back down into the 40s as well. So for me, we'll see. If Monday's down, it's not a big deal for me, but if Tuesday's up and it's up substantially, then I'm like, okay, maybe we have an all clear here again. So that's what I'm watching right now. And if you want to come trade with us, I have my system that works pretty well here in terms of just getting you in the right trades and not putting you in things that aren't going up. And we've already made our secular shift, and I'm going to talk about silver miners in my next video. But if you want to trade with us, just go tradelikeagenius.com. We have some specials running till tomorrow night, and take advantage of them. And I'm going to talk silver, and Phil's going to talk cryptos, and we had a really good week last week across the board on everything. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.